Today on Tricrow Studios, we take a look at the Peavey Windsor 100 watt head. So quickly, let's look at the front of this amplifier. First thing we have here is our high gain and low gain inputs. High gain is what you're going to use for quieter pickups. It's going to allow a 10 dB boost, and then low gain is going to be the normal, which is great for like hotter pickups. If you plug into that high gain with hotter pickups, you might get too quick of a breakup, or you might want that. So two different variations, good to have there. Our preamp volume controls the amount of volume that's going into the input of this amplifier. We have our 3-band EQ next, which is bass, middle, and treble. Obviously self-explanatory. Then we have our boost, which allows a little bit of a boost in the volume, and you can use a foot switch for that to engage it instead of using the boost button in and out. So if the button is in, boost is engaged, and button is out, boost is not engaged. Next we have our effects loop on the front of the amplifier. Usually you typically see this on the back of an amplifier, but you have your send and return, which is kind of cool if you don't want to be fooling around in the back of this amplifier. Moving on, now we have our master volume, which is self-explanatory. Then we have our resonance and presence switches. So the resonance, what that's going to allow you to do is change the prominence and bring in or bring out the amount of bass that's low end that's there, so you can get into some pretty thumpy ranges if you wish to. And the presence controls the same thing, but with the high end. It pretty much controls all that prominence from both, which is a good touch. Usually you only see presence on an amplifier, so having the resonance there to bring that in and out is kind of perfect too for tinkering around. And then we have our texture switch. So our texture all the way to the right is going to give us full power, and then all the way to the left is going to give you half power, kind of like a spongy or bold switch, but this has quite a bit of range in it, so you can get tighter end, or you can kind of make some flub come out of this amplifier. Moving on, now we have our illumination light, our standby switch, and our power off and on switch. So without further ado, let's look at some sound samples of this amplifier. So now let's look at the back panel of this amplifier. In the back panel of this amplifier, we have our power plug here, our fuse, our 2 input jacks for our cabinets that you're going to use speaker cables for. Make sure you use speaker cables or you can really damage your amplifier and just make it sound horrible. So ensure that you buy proper speaker cables for any amplifier that you're using. Moving on, now we have our impedance select switch, which is from 4, 8, and 16, and we have our foot switch select switch that we can plug into and do a 2-button foot switch, which will allow you to change your effects loop and your boost on and off. So now let's listen to one more sample with a pedal in the effects loop. So this concludes my review of the Peavey Windsor 100 watt head. Decent sounding head, you can get some really cool tones with it. Major flaw of this amplifier for people that want really nice crystal clean sounds, even when you dial back the preamp volume as well as put it into the high gain section, you're still going to get some push cleans. It does the push clean sound pretty damn good. Can't go wrong with that, but if you want that crystal clean sound, you're definitely not going to get it with this amplifier. If you turn that volume for the preamp almost all the way down, you're still getting a tiny bit of push signal, and when you roll back your volume, it's still going to do a little bit of the same thing. So other than that, great sounding, cool sounding amp, very cheap. Don't pay more than $300 or so for this. Since some other reviews on YouTube, people are jacking the price like crazy. It's not worth that much, but it's definitely worth $250, $350 at the most for this amplifier. So I hope I've helped you distinguish if this is the amplifier that's right for you or not. Until next time, I'm Kevin with Tricro Studios. Take care.